This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend and started their weekend. I don't know about you guys, but it's been hotter than Hades here in Brooksville, Florida today. And I am not joking about that one bit. It's totally ridiculous. But meanwhile, let me go ahead and bring on my co-host tonight, Mr. DolFan Winters. What you doing, my brother?
How are you today, man? And hey, look, I'll second that. I think the whole East Coast is baking, and literally it was like I said to you earlier, I think the temperatures got up to about 97, 98 here in Philadelphia with the heat index, 106 degrees, and it feels every single bit of it. It stormed here for 15 minutes, and the rain just evaporated from the ground like it didn't do anything. So
yeah, all it did was make it steamy then.
Yeah, to everybody, just whoever's, to everybody, men and women, children, if you're doing any outside activities, please just stay hydrated. This is not to be played with.
I agree with you.
So,
there's been some talk with the Dolphins, on different things, of course.
Definitely. What's on the agenda tonight, man?
Well, I love the article about them talking about Devon Achane, using him in multiple positions, which we expected that to happen down the road.
Absolutely.
And I am excited for that because, he's one of my top favorite current players, and I was stating that from the time we drafted him.
I mean, I like the idea, but my whole thing is I just don't want him to overwork him. That's the only thing. I want him to be able to get some carries out the backfield. But I understand that. You sit there, you put them out there and make them a matchup nightmare for the defense. So, yeah, I love that. But I just don't want him getting torn up, though, in the process.
I agree with you. I mean, it's anything can go. I mean, I didn't hear that.
What's going on, Ryan AP? Thumbs up, brother.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing? Great chatting with you on the phone lately, Ryan. We'll get together sometime soon. Other thing I want to talk about, go through some of the articles they've had. Projected Dolphins 53-man roster projection 1 month before training camp. That, to me, would be very, very hard to project with the players that we have.
We got a lot of studs. We got a lot of studs in free agency, undrafted free agents. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, that's the key thing. Because this 53-man roster is going to be very, very special. It really is. Definitely.
Well, of course, with quarterbacks, it's Tua, and then they're saying Mike White, which you never know. From what with OTAs, they said Mike White did not do anything special to stand out or anything. We got to wait and see.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what Calais Campbell is going to bring to the defense with his experience. I'm looking forward to seeing what Shaq Barrett's going to bring to this defense. I'm looking forward to seeing what Porter's going to bring to this defense. I'm looking forward to the brother from Seattle's going to bring to this. I'm looking forward to what Weaver's defense is going to look like. That's what I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not taking nothing away from the offense because I know we have some toys and some new toys that we're going to bring to our offense. And that means more speed to it. But I'm more excited to seeing what this defense is going to bring because you got to think, even, that we only had Fangio for 1 year, that defense was a top 5 defense. Yeah. And you have to sit there and be straight up. Like, that was a top 5 defense. I mean, I get to see it on TV and the news and everything every week in Philadelphia because I live here in Philadelphia. But I'll see how much success they have here in Philadelphia with it. But I'm excited to see what Coach Weaver is going to bring with this defense. That is my main number one thing is to see what the defense is going to look like.
I'm with you 100% on that. Running backs, of course, Mostert, Achan, and then Jalen Wright, they're saying, and Chris Brooks. Fullback, Alec Ingold. Wide receiver, Hill, Odell Beckham Jr., Malik Washington, they're saying. Easy E, they're saying, is going to be on there. Braxton Berrios. Then we go to tight ends. Jonnu Smith, Jordan Smythe, Jody Fortson. Then we start on our own, of course, offensive tackle, Armstead. Isaiah Wynn. Aaron Brewer, which we kind of expected that.
Right.
Robert Jones, Austin Jackson, Kendall Lamb, they're saying Patrick Paul, the rookie's going to be on there. Jack Driscoll, Liam Eichenberg, and Lester Cotton, which I'm not sure on those two myself, with some of the other players we picked up, but it's a wait-and-see game. Then we go to defensive line, Zach Sealer, of course, yes. Calais Campbell, however. Benito Jones, Neville Gallimore. Tier Tart, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and Shaquille O'Barrett. Chop Robinson, Muhammad Kamara, they're saying David Long Jr., Jordan Brooks, Anthony Walker Jr., Duke Riley, Jalen Ramsey, Kendall Fuller, Cater Kohu, Cam Smith, which the way they've been talking about him, I wouldn't be surprised, if him making the 53. Ethan Bonner, they still got on the 53.
Right.
Nick Needham, Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer, Marcus May, Elijah Campbell, Jason Sanders, Jake Bailey, and Blake Ferguson.
Let's see what we got here.
Mr. John O'Hanlon.
What's up, John? How are you?
Good, brother. What's going on, man?
What's that?
I asked if you were off work.
Yeah. I happened to Domino's in town is running a special $3.99 for medium, so the wife had me run over here and order them. Now I got to sit and wait for them.
Is it hot enough for you, John?
Yeah, we had a nice rainstorm for like half hour, really heavy high winds, and then it went away. Sun came back out, still humid as anything.
Today it was just hot, baking hot all day.
Well, I think we hit 94, but the humidity is way up. They said it felt like 109.
Yeah.
We were basically at 90, 97 or 98 with a feel like of 103.
Mm-hmm.
So we just went over the 50. Their projected. Who was it that did it? Let's see. Adam Stites projected 53-man roster projection 1 month before training camp, which to me, that's the projection on that. There was a couple players I'm like, I don't know about that, you know.
Yeah, it's the coaches are going to decide who they want, who they're going to keep, who they're not, who they're going to try to keep on the practice squad. You know me, I'm the wait and see. Let's wait and see who's on there, and we'll go from there. I mean, I know it's something to talk about, but
I agree. And then I was telling Saul before the show started, which we'll bring it up now. Let me open this up. See who's – this is by Brandon Croce or Croce, Croce. I don't know who he is. Projecting the 2024 season records for Bills and the rest of the AFC East. Well, they only have the Patriots winning only 4 games, which, like Winter said, with their defensive coach they have and the defense they have, I think they could win more than that, really.
yeah, I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on whether their offense can put points on the board or not.
Yeah, because this is the first year since in the 90s that they've been without Bill Belichick. So then that's, of course, 4th. And then they have us in 3rd at 9 and 8. I mean,
listen, I've seen all kinds of them where they have the Bills winning 11, Dolphins winning 9, Jets winning 9, and Patriots winning 4, and we're ahead of the Jets. Or I mean, I've seen all kinds of those crazy things. And go back and look at last year on how many of them predicted that stuff and see how many of them were correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with you. And I just get a laugh at it. But not because I'm a Dolphin fan and where they have this projection, just because it's virtually impossible to try and predict something, especially right now.
They get paid to do it. They're talking heads.
And that's all they're good for is talking heads.
Right. They get paid to do that and put stuff out there and have people agree with them, disagree with them. You know, that's what they get paid for.
Yeah, they have the Jets coming in at 10 and 7. If Favre stays healthy, I can see them doing 10 and 7.
You mean Rodgers?
Rodgers. Well, I'm still stuck on Favre.
Retirement? What the hell?
Favre 2.0.
Yeah, Favre 2.0 because he's just doing the same thing basically.
Yep.
Yeah, they're having them 10 and 7. They're having them 4 and 2 in the division. They say that Buffalo's going to split. It's going to sweep the Patriots, which I could see them sweeping the Patriots. But they're going to split with us and split with the Jets as far as Buffalo goes. And of course they have the Bills winning the division once again at 11 and 6. It could be possible, but I still have my doubt because they're saying they still have a lot of weapons, but they lost a lot more than just a few receivers. Lost some good key defensive players as well.
Oh, absolutely. They lost a lot of guys. They lost, I think, 4 or 5 guys on their starters on their defense.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I could see Buffalo being in the running, but I'm right now at this point, I would say they're not going to win the division. That's my only thing with this whole article. I can't say who's going to win the division, to be honest with you right now, because we haven't seen anything from any of the teams. Right. But I can with confidence say, as of right now, the Bills won't win the division. Now, will that change? It could change depending on what we see in practice and if they pick anybody else up or whatever.
And like I said, it's all talking heads. They get paid to do it, and I get it. You know, Some of these guys get paid very well to talk crap.
Yeah. Good evening, Joe Rist and Jorge Gras.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're just going back off of what they've seen from last year and just trying to put in their input. And I understand that. Until we beat the Bills, then that's fully understandable that they would write an article about that. If we were the ones dominating the Bills, it probably would be vice versa. But at the end of the day, the last time I checked, the Bills ain't won shit. So I'm not worried about nothing about Buffalo. But we need to sit there. I mean, we are far away talking about games and stuff, but we got to start off the season 2-0. You have to start the season off 2-0. There is no, oh, well, it's early. No. Your first 2 games are AFC conference games. Your second game is an AFC conference and division game. So you have to win those games.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it's, the division games, that Buffalo game Thursday, I mean, that could set the tone for the whole year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, did you see the contract on Calais Campbell?
Yes.
We stole him.
Well, I'm not sure how much interest there was in him, and I know he wanted to come to Miami. So I don't know if we stole him or he just said, "Hey, I want to be there. What can you offer?" They offered it to him. I mean, you got to remember, he's 37 years old.
I understand that, but he was still playing at the top of his game last year.
Yeah, but he's 37 years old. I mean, that in football years, that's old.
And I understand that.
It's 18 in football years, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because sports is the only thing, job out there where they try to get you to retire early.
Mm-hmm.
Last year he got $15 million. $8 million of it guaranteed. The only guarantee he's got this year is $790,000.
Yeah, well, maybe with the money he got last year, he's perfectly happy. And like he said, he's coming to Miami because he thinks they can win a championship.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it was a steal of a deal. That's for sure.
Oh no, absolutely.
So, ESPN analyst showed Greer love for his fantastic offseason, which I think he's done. Mr. Campbell, a.k.a. OG, thank you for joining us, especially from Twitter. We love seeing you guys from Twitter commenting and stuff. Or X, if you want to call it that. It's still Twitter to me.
Sure.
Just like Greer, it's still Joe Robbie.
Yeah, still Joe Robbie Stadium. But Greer, to me, done an excellent job with a lot of those contracts this year. All these one-year contracts with a lot of these veterans and stuff. And a lot of the veterans are coming because they think we have that opportunity to win it, which, as a Dolphins fan, I do too. But like you say all the time, John, we got to wait and see what's going to happen, how things are going to gel with the team completely. I mean, we didn't lose a whole lot offensively, really. We still have, for the first time, really, 3 years, same coach, same system. We're going into the 3rd year. He's supposedly adding a little bit more to the system. So we'll see what it comes up and how it turns out.
No, absolutely. I agree. The only real loss we had on offense was Hunt.
Mm-hmm. Bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah, and I mean, those guys should be able to put things together even better. And we picked up some great offensive linemen to help teach these young rookies we drafted as well on the offensive line. Defense, that's, as we've been saying, training camp. We've got to see what happens in training camp. I was glad to hear Eric Winters. Hey, brother, thank you for joining us.
What's up?
Join us. Let me put the link up there. But I really liked hearing the comments on the mini camp about the defense dominated that. I think it was the last day of minicamp they had. And because McDaniel was happy, he didn't have them just do another training day. They just came in and did a walkthrough and go over things. So, I mean,
like we said earlier, I think John said this, I said this, you said this. It's still light. It's not really much going on. We got a couple signings here and there. You might have a couple rumbles here and there, but nothing significant, nothing major, you know.
No.
So I mean, I'm right now. I'm enjoying somewhat of the downtime before we go full throttle with training camp and stuff like that. Because once we go full throttle, it's going to be full speed ahead, and we're going to be having our eyes and ears open to every different social media outlet and or ESPN, Bleacher Report. I mean, literally every type of sports outlet that you can think of for any little tidbit of news. Because you know the bullseye is all on us for Tua and his contract. We all know that is the major story in the NFL. So that's the only thing they really have much to really talk about right now. So,
I know. That's why I kind of wish they'd get it done now. So before training camp starts, it's done and over with. They could talk about it now and be done with it.
And we don't hear any people about it, none of that other stuff.
Nope. Don't let it be a distraction come training camp time.
Well, speaking of training camp, open training camp for all people who want to go watch. Sunday, July 28th is the start of open training camp. Then we have the 29th, the 30th, August 1st. Friday, August 2nd will be in the stadium like they did last year one day. Saturday, August 3rd. Then Monday, August 5th and 6th, and Wednesday, August 7th. And then I think the 8th and 9th is the days that we are the joint training camp, or the 8th. So I'll be there basically for almost 2 weeks straight. What? Yeah, I'll be there almost 2 weeks straight, as my wife says, couch surfing.
I couldn't hear you. What'd she say?
Couch surfing.
Oh.
As long as my aunt's still living there, you know, they're looking at moving, but as long as she's still there, I know I got a place to sleep there. Plus, I know down at Paris's, and I'm sure there's other places that will take me in if I ask.
If not, you go find a bench on the beach.
Yeah, I could just sleep I could probably just go to sleep on one of the picnic tables at Shenanigans.
I don't think that's going to feel comfortable after a while.
Even a bed doesn't always feel comfortable to me sometimes. So it really doesn't matter.
That's
all of us. Once you hit 40, things just aren't as comfortable as they used to be.
I ain't never lie, bro. I'm there, right there with.
I remember in my 20s, teenage 20s, 30s, I could fall asleep anywhere. It didn't matter. And I slept all night. Now it's like I'm waking up an hour late. Oh, I got to move. Well, let's roll over and rearrange myself, you know, stuff like that. And yeah.
There you go, Aaron. Question. There you go, Paul or John. You guys both been to training camp. Y'all can answer this.
Do you guys have a training camp session that fans can enjoy before the season? Well, that's what the actual training camp starts July 16th for the rookies, July 23rd, the veterans come in, and then July 28th through those dates I just read are actually all open training camps for all the fans to come in. And I believe it's Friday, August 2nd is members only, which will be in the stadium for us to go see. And members only is season ticket holders. So yeah, all the fans are welcome. They won't put the tickets out availability until July 8th. Anybody can sign up and get them. But like on Friday, August 2nd. That is members only, which is your season ticket holders. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy the training camp. This will be my third year. Last year, I was bringing donuts to a lot of the workers, every day, and depending on the funds, I'll probably do the same thing this year. I got to get rid of some stuff, bring in some money for the helping hands. So, which today we were at the Humane Society serving pulled pork sandwiches along with some Caesar salad and potato salad and bags of chips, and that went over real well. So that was a good day. He's back.
Yeah, after this rain and stuff, it's really funny. My phone went off, and instead of just staying, for some reason it clicked off.
Yeah, you never know. Technology is like Mona and Chris say, we can talk to people in outer space, but we can't talk to people right next door hardly sometimes with their phones.
Yeah, how was your event today?
I just got done saying it went over very well. Everybody loved the pulled pork. There was a lot more people this time than at the ribbon cutting ceremony. So, and Rosie, who is a female mastiff, they've had there for about 6 months altogether. There's a possibility she might be getting adopted. The guy had to go home and talk, but she is a mastiff that just wants love. She is just she's not that old for a mastiff. I mean, depends, because dogs, big dogs like that don't live like the smaller dogs, of course. But she's a beautiful, fun-loving dog. And, of course, today she was just like the rest of us, hot and miserable. But it was a good turnout. We served a lot of pulled pork and, of course, sent some leftovers with Mona and Scooby. And we got leftovers for ourselves, of course. So it's all good.
Was Mona and Scooby the only ones that show up from the Finn fam?
Yeah. But
yeah, I saw she was posting pictures earlier today. So
yeah, I forgot my phone. The wife took some pictures as well, but I forgot my phone. I'm just reading what Eric said. He's lying. If they could go now, he loved that. I'm not sure.
That was something before. I've seen that comment before. But
okay.
He said back in the days, oh man, he's funny. Hey, you literally right behind me, bro. So you're not that far away. We're both in our 40s. So don't think like I'm far ahead of you in age.
I know Eric talks like he's 22.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And John, you won't be down for training camp, or
No.
Will you be down for the preseason?
No, preseason and training camp I just can't make because it's too much time off. And I'm busy all year, but summertime is my busy time because the kids are out of school.
Yeah.
So I got to work as much as I can and save as many hours so that when I come down,
That's right. Hooked up, Joe. 40s is young.
Oh, 40. No, there's no doubt. 40's not old, but you hit your 40s, man, that check engine light comes on and things just start slowly falling apart.
Like, what the fuck is going on? Trust me, I know.
Yep, and it's something I'm still battling with, it's in my late 50s, and I'm just like, I can't get used to it, and it's driving me nuts. It's something I just got to talk myself into getting used to, that I can't do anything anymore.
Well, you could do some things, you just can't do what you used to do.
Absolutely.
I can't do things I used to do just 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, listen, I broke my back at age 37, and a lot of things changed at that point. So,
well, it's just something I got to try and get over with in my own head, and one day I will. I got good friends and family. Lolly, come here. So, yeah, we got a lot to go over. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like you said earlier, the defense is what I'm really wanting to look forward to. I want to see what Coach Weaver has. I want to see if we're going to have those guys out there that are really going to lay the smackdown on them.
We just got to be careful because, man, we like I said for a minute, the Miami Dolphins fan base has been clamoring and crying for aggressive defense. And I'm with them. I love an aggressive defense, but you guys got to understand, with an aggressive defense comes penalties. And that is going to be, especially of the way the game is played today. Careful what you wish for, because we're going to have I believe we're going to have an aggressive defense. But the problem is with aggression comes a lot of risk. So we got to keep that in mind.
Well, I don't mind penalties so much if it's not going to hinder our play of game.
Right.
Offensive penalties, I mind. That's a lot different than defensive penalties. Defensive penalties can hurt us, yes, but if we're still able to stop them and get a penalty here or there, I can deal with that. You know,
my big two are false start and jumping off sides.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a lineman. You're looking at the damn ball. How do you move before the ball and how do you jump before the ball? Those are the two that really kill me.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Yeah. Something was brought up to me today. Some people aren't sure about the whole new kickoff rule. What's really going to be different is all these people that start coming to these games but didn't pay attention to the rule change.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be like, what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
Listen, folks, if you did not read them, if you did not see it, go online and look. There is videos explaining exactly what's going to happen, where the kickoff has to land, what happens if it goes into the end zone, what happens if it doesn't make it to the 20-yard line. There's plenty out there. Go watch it.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Hookup? How you doing, brother?
Good. I'm really looking forward to the new kickoff rules.
Yeah, and see, the way I gather it now, okay, first, if it goes into before the new rule came out, it went in the end zone, it came out to the 25. Now, if it goes into the end zone, it comes out to the 35.
At best.
Okay. At best, yes. Now, they're lined up different. The idea of this is trying to get your kickers to keep it from going into the end zone, period. Because you're trying to get more action going. Because, honestly, everyone gets up and goes to the bathroom after a touchdown or goes to get drinks after a touchdown because the following kickoff is so lame 99% of the time. So they're trying to get more action going to keep people in the seats or keep people glued to the television and stuff.
So now with the kickoffs now, it's going to speed the game up even faster than what it usually is.
Yeah.
And what they really did was they kind of changed it to be a scrimmage play. So instead of people running down the field and having that big collision, you know, they don't want to really add more action when there's that level of a collision. You know, that's how come they borrowed the XFL and other league rules and made it like a scrimmage play, and that just changes it completely. I mean, they're kicking it off, but they might as well be throwing it up in the air like basketball. I mean, not really, but they're really, you know, they're right there next to each other.
Yeah, they're a lot closer together, and it's.
Think about it like, gentlemen, think about it like this. When the game is 23-23 with 10 seconds left and you got a kickoff, now the kickoff that kickoff means way more than what it used to mean.
Oh,
So
yeah,
now,
because the clock's going to run.
absolutely. So that's
We've
what I.
said it before. The coaches that figure this out are going to be the teams that are going to be the upper echelon teams because they figured out all this new kickoff and special team stuff, and they're going to win games because of that. The coaches that don't figure it out are going to lose games because of it.
And by making it a scrimmage play, we can more afford to have the likes of our really good players, fast, good players in there on the kickoffs where you wouldn't have them when you got somebody barreling down on you. But when it becomes another scrimmage play, why not? The risk is low and the reward is high.
Oh, yeah. If they can get down there and tackle them at the 10 to 15 instead of the 25-30, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, on our offense, when we're like sending the some of our star players, even a Tyreek Hill. If the game's on the line, Tyreek Hill's gonna be back there for the freaking kickoff.
Well, Tyreek, Javon Chan, Washington, our new running back.
The kid Wright might be back there. They maybe maybe
Wright,
that's where they're going to use him a lot. Is the new kid Wright because of his speed?
Malik Washington's the receiver. Wright is the running back. I keep getting them twisted. Isn't Wright? His name is Jalen also.
Yes.
Yes. So, one of the Jalens could be in there for all you know.
Yeah.
And that'll make them either have to kick it to them or we're going to get better field position, too.
Yeah, because there'll actually be two receivers in the back.
Well, there can be two. You can use one or two.
Well, more than likely there'll be two, so it leaves it sort of. It all depends on what the coaches figure out. What's going to work better for them.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. The coaches that figure this out and do the best job with it, they're going to win games because of it.
I think I agree with it's going to make the game different.
It's exciting to see how especially because it's so new for the NFL.
Yeah, and because the NFL has changed a lot, but changed so little in some ways.
It is on a 1-year probationary implementation. So, if it doesn't work out, they'll just go back to the way it was. It's not a permanent change. So we'll see, which also gives them a way to evolve it next year. They can say, okay, we're going to do something like it, but completely different in another way. And it's not like they keep changing it with only a 1-year rule. Next year, it's going to change.
Yeah. I mean, there's no telling. But I'm looking forward to it myself. These people, if you have not looked up on it yet, if you're listening to us, look it up. Because you don't want to go to the game and be like, what the hell are they doing? This ain't how we do kickoffs.
I'll say this. If the probability of injuries go down significantly, they're going to keep it. And I can promise you that. Yeah. That's the key. That is the key analytics stat for this whole project to sit there and be yay or nay. If the probability and the percentage of injuries, especially head-on injuries or leg injury or whatever injuries of any sort go down significantly, trust me, they're going to keep it. And I'm going to say this. I'll say it right now. I predict that they're going to keep it because it's going to bring more action, like we all just said. Like John said, the clock's going to keep on running. The scenarios and the drama for the games are more significant now. So when you have a game with 2-3 points and it's about 30 seconds left, you can count on, like John said, the special teams to sit there, and he says the ones that capitalize on the new rules, boom, they have a great chance of sitting there turning this game around. They might be crappy on offense. They might be okay on defense, but their special teams might be out of this fucking world, and they might sit there and switch the dynamic of the game now.
Well, another thing to look at is who's going to end up changing kickers in mid-season because their kicker can't keep it out of the end zone.
I mean, I think most of the kickers are capable because all along we've wanted kickers that could kick it through the end zone.
Yeah.
Just because they have a strong leg, they're going to get more hang time, which doesn't mean anything because nobody can move till the ball's touched.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, they have to, because they are kicking they're a lot closer to the other side. They got to manage how well they're kicking it and kick it more up than distance.
Yeah, but then any NFL kicker has been out practicing that since they heard of the rule change. So I mean, it's
They have to hit that. They have to hit a ground target, which is almost like what a punter usually does, right? It almost changes it to where the punter could be doing some kickoffs because you need to drop it into the zone.
Right.
It's a totally different thing than the kickoff where you're just trying to make sure they don't run it back by kicking it through the uprights.
Right.
So it would be interesting to see if people even start switching to the punter for kickoffs.
We have to see, exactly how everything goes. It's going to be, another one of those wait and see deals.
That'll make preseason a little more exciting because we'll get a little taste of it in the preseason.
Yeah.
Something new.
Okay, here's a question. Is this a make or break year for Mike McDaniel?
No.
If he goes 6-11, yes. If he's anywhere near making the playoffs or gets in the playoffs, no.
I'll say this. I'll play devil's advocate, and I'll say yes. The window is only open for a year or two. We don't know what is going to happen with Tua's contract. You have to sit there and we've been to the playoffs 2 years in a row. 1 year without Tua, 1 year with Tua. So this might be like, getting to the first round is just not enough anymore. We have to get over the threshold. The only excuse right now, and they're not even going to use it as an excuse, is the defense. Because it's a brand new defense, brand new scheme, brand new everything, but he's bringing enough experienced guys that's been in that defensive scheme. So that might not be a excuse at all. So this is maybe a McDaniel. You got to show me. You got to show me what's up. This is year 3. Now for me personally, yeah.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I think for me personally, I think it is a make or break. 2 years in the playoffs and not winning a playoff. I don't care whether it's with or without Tua. You go a third year and still stall out again. Something's not clicking somewhere or something's got to change. I'm 50-50 really. It could be, it might not be. It's going to depend on how the season develops and what goes on. I'm not going to put any blame on we didn't win a playoff game because of the defense because it's a new defense. Then, well, that's not right. That's not true.
Well, no, if we don't win a playoff game because of the defense, I mean, that's not an excuse because you got 17 regular season games to figure the defense out and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it.
Yes. Yep, I agree. Yeah. So I'm a 50-50. It could be. It might not be. But I agree with what both you guys say on both parts, really.
All right, I got to jump off. I got to run in Domino's and pick up my pizza.
All right, John.
Okay.
Get easy, brother.
Peace,
Love,
guys.
I think that we're in the same situation we are with McDaniel that we are with Tua. There's not a ton of people like if an amazing coach came available and we felt confident that we could switch to another coach that had experience and some special something and the it factor and all these other things and was ready to come here, and I could see a switch if we faltered this year and there's a better option, right? So, but you got to look out there at the available options and think, well, who are you going to pick as a better option and a better upgrade? Who's going to be able to come in here and are you expecting a new coach to come in and win a playoff game in year 1 because they're a new coach? Or are we going to all of a sudden be back to where we're going to allow a new coach to take 3 years to get to the playoffs because we're rebuilding again? I mean, what level of change are you looking at?
All right, so Hook Up Joe, the way I look at it is this, and I'm not saying that we're just going to sit there and put him on the chopping block right away after year 3 if he doesn't do well. I'm saying this. What I am saying with Mike McDaniel is he is a guy that he definitely has brought a different pizzazz to the league with his coaching style. But what he has to understand is we have to look in this year 3 and look at no more of the missed clock management, no more of these hook and lateral plays that are putting us 5 yards behind and having us in like a 2 and 15 because they already read that it was going to be a screenplay 5 yards back behind our line of scrimmage. Like, we got to sit there, like, no, what are you passing on 3rd and 1 for if you know that, hey, we got some guys up front that we can pound the ball in instead of passing the ball and then fuck around and have an incomplete pass. Like, there's certain things that I'm looking at for McDaniel to correct on this season that he didn't do for the last 2 seasons. So if he does those things, then I think we're going to be fine, which I believe that he will. And I'm not wishing his, like, the departure or whatever. Now, to your point, if we do have to go that, you just said everything that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to sit there and implement a whole brand new system. That means we're going to have to sit there and evaluate new players, and we're looking at another 3 to 5 years to get it together again, if that. So, I'm
going to piggyback off of that. Tell you right now, if they do not make a deal with Tua this year, he's definitely on the chopping block. Because if they don't make a deal with Tua this year and we don't win a playoff, if we make the playoffs, that's fine. But if we don't win a playoff, I think both Tua and McDaniel will be gone.
The way this offseason started, I'm just seeing that this was expected to be a lull year anyway, and I don't see us, if we make the playoffs and don't win a playoff game, I just don't see how, like I said, unless there's some amazing coach that comes available or something like that, some extenuating circumstance, then maybe, but just flat out, man, the odds are so low that, I mean, he might be on notice. I mean, if we do bad this year, on notice, but I don't think he's on the chopping block.
No, he's not. I'll say this, and I'll say this for the public to hear. I think Sirianni is more on the chopping block than McDaniel is. I think McDaniel's job is very secure. I think Sirianni for the Eagles' job, I think his ass is on the chopping block if he doesn't get shit done here in Philadelphia. I'll say that. That's a whole other subject. But go ahead.
No, I can agree with you on that. See that. Another question here: did the Dolphins do enough on the offensive line?
I've answered this one online.
I think we just gotta wait and see. Because I'll be honest with you, I applaud Coach Barry's coaching abilities this past season. He did very well protecting Tua. I didn't have a problem. I mean, look, some guys are going to get through and get to Tua sometimes. That's just how the game is played. But I think for what he had to deal with, the different pieces that he had to maneuver around with, the different injuries that we sustained last season at the offensive line, especially with Connor Williams going down early in the season when he did, I think he did an excellent job. And I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do this year.
Yeah, I think the personnel-wise, we didn't do enough. I do expect that our coaches will be able to deal with what we have, but my feeling is if we go into this year and we don't have a backup center beyond Ike, then we didn't do enough.
Well, we already have backup center besides Eichenberg. As far as I'm concerned, with the centers we picked up, and there's still time to look at other people coming in.
I mean, we picked up the guy from Philly. We picked up somebody else. We picked up a couple people. So I think there is like the 13 offensive linemen on the 90-man roster right now that they're going to definitely look at. And we just drafted a kid, so we got to look and see what we're going to have.
Well, there's another thing. This training camp, they're saying all eyes are going to be on Patrick Paul, which. Big old boy.
Would be. That dude is huge.
Yes, I know. You can't help but keep your eye on him to watch. He towers over everybody.
Oh, my God.
I think he's going to be – he's quick. He's got got some learning to do, as they say, but I still think he's going to be able to, having a mentor like Armstead, I think he'll be able to end up doing really well and be able to take over for Armstead when Armstead's not able to play or decides to retire, or whatever you want to say.
Hopefully Armstead will be able to quick charge him, give him all the pertinent information and stuff between him and the coach to be able to do enough job to be serviceable, and then iterate all the rest of the stuff in to be next level. You got to get to where you were serviceable.
Yeah, I mean, there are no questions about his speed to play in the NFL. The questions are about his fundamentals and skill set.
Well, not to cut you off, I did watch a video of him when they talked to him when he was drafted, and they sat there and they talked about that in particular. He worked with one of the best coaches on the off season, or when he was getting ready for like the combine and after the combine. He worked with one of the best offensive line coaches in the system. And he sat there and he said he still has things that he needs to work on, but that was the things they were working on the different things with speed and the different things like that. He's gonna be like, he was telling them, he's like, look, what we're doing now is gonna be different from what you see during like a scrimmage or a game day or whatever. The speed's gonna be completely different. So I like the fact that he is humble. He's upset there was a lot of teams that skipped up on him, but he is humble, and he is like, I know I have a lot of things that I need to learn to get to the next level, but he said, I'm here and I'm ready to put the work in. So I think he understands that. I think he really understands.
And I agree with you on that. And we have learned, especially after last year, we learned that Coach Butch Berry is very good at developing players into what is needed, at least for our offensive line and team.
Right.
So I think, they're saying, they see many basic fundamentals that are easily correctable, but they never were over his 4 years in college. And if these things weren't corrected in 4 years of college, it gives people pause to think they can be fixed now. Well, maybe because it worked for him in college and they didn't see nothing wrong with it, the people that were coaching him, and didn't really think about the coaches are worried about the there and now, not necessarily about what he's going to do in the future. I mean, anything's, and like you said, he's a very humble guy. He wants to play. He wants to learn. And anybody who wants to play, wants to learn, is correctable.
And has the physical traits. That's kind of what I was hoping for, is now that we have a coaching staff that can utilize good physical traits and get and coach them up. That's exactly what we need, is just the physical talent that we need, and then we can coach, the stem cell, if you will, into whatever he needs to be that, that spot. And that's what he is, man. He's exactly that.
We got 6 minutes left, gentlemen. Just want to let you guys know.
Yeah, no,
that's perfect, because I do have to run.
No, go ahead and give your last words, Hooked Up Joe.
I don't have any last words this time of year. I'm just looking forward to next year, all of it. And thanks for being here. Thanks for streaming, and thank you guys. And fins up.
Peace, love, and fins up, brother. Yeah, have a good night. Winners, it's another great day to be alive, of course.
And it was a great day. I just wish it wasn't so damn hot all the way up down the East Coast or wherever you're at in the country. I hope it's nice. But I wish I could go back to the nice weather where I was at back in New Bedford, Massachusetts last week, when it was like 78 to 80 with a 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze coming off the coast. Oh my God, man!
It's funny because I looked it up where we were 90 a little bit ago. We were 94 here, but down in Miami Gardens where the stadium's at, it was only 88.
Oh wow, yeah.
But in we were 97 here. It was 88 down in Miami Gardens, but they had showers in the vicinity, so that helped cool it off some. But up in Memphis, Tennessee, it was 94.
Yeah.
So it was hotter in Memphis, Tennessee than it was in Miami Gardens.
It's just hot. It's just hot.
Yeah.
But
Very hot.
So I want to just thank everybody that tuned in today. Thanks for Hooked Up Joe and John O'Hallen, as always, coming through. Paul, we got through another show. We'll be on at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you're up and drinking some coffee and you just ain't got nothing else to do, tune on in to Huddle Sports Network on Roku TV, YouTube, IG, X, and Facebook. And as always, you got anything else to say, Paul?
Yes, thank you, everybody. On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Huddle Sports Network. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for allowing us to do what we do, which is talk about our Dolphins. Nothing better to do than talk about our Dolphins. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for everybody who was out at the Nature Coach Humane Society, coming out, checking the facility out, and maybe adopting a cat or a dog or a puppy or kitten. They had lots of kittens there. There are some beautiful dogs. And also, happy anniversary to my lovely wife, 22 years today.
Congratulations.
We are about to, thank you, sir. We are about to head out to dinner. As soon as I get off here and we do a couple other things, we're going to go out to dinner at Cheddar's.
Well, you need to go take your ass off this podcast and take you and your lovely wife out to dinner. With that
I will do that, brother. With that being said, y'all have a wonderful night. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Peace, guys.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.